and the area of discipline. The two are different. So when you start growing and you start changing and you start taking action and you start making progress, when you start, the motivation is there always. I'm sure most of us, in the few things that we have started, in the beginning, the motivation is driving you. It is keeping you there. It is keeping you, achieving your small goals, making progress, and you keep on going because it is the beginning of the journey. But for you to keep on going, you need discipline. And we will discuss, as we are talking about consistency, how do you make it easy to become disciplined? Many times when we are talking among ourselves and when we are talking, even discussing, people keep on telling you, it's just a question of discipline. You just be disciplined. I just be more disciplined. But nobody tells you that discipline in itself is not a switch, is not something you wake up and decide, I'm going to be disciplined. You have to cultivate discipline. There are certain things you can do, and that's what we are going to be discussing today when we discuss consistency. There are certain things that you can do that can make the discipline easier. Otherwise, the discipline becomes so hard. You find, yes, you've started, but you can't keep going. Yes, you've started, but you're backsliding. Yes, you've started, but you're going backwards. Yes, you've started, but you're not consistent. And all of us are in this trap of consistency. Sometimes you are able to do it. Sometimes you're not able to do it. How do you improve so that you are more consistent more times than you are inconsistent? Remember, it is not easy to be 100% disciplined, 100% consistent. But we are saying you can improve your chances. You can improve the times when you are more consistent. So we'll discuss some areas or some things or some ideas that can help you even with the discipline, so that even when you make a decision to say, I'm going to be disciplined, I'm going to do what I know I should do, I'm going to do what is right, I'm going to do what I know will help me, then you're going to be successful. Because all of us fall into this trap of the area of discipline. Is not easy. People talk about it very easily, like it's something you can just wake up and do, but it's not that easy. But there are some ideas which we are going to look at that can make the area of discipline easier. So remember, motivation gets you started. It is discipline that will keep you going. So we move on with some of the ideas. So when I'm talking about motivation and discipline again, the idea I want to emphasize is that let's not rely on talent or opportunities. When it comes to moving and growing, discipline is more important than talent and opportunity. So it doesn't matter how talented you are, because sometimes people can sit back and say, but me, I'm gifted, but me, I have talents, but me, I'm in a good place, or I know how to do my things. But talent will not get you there. It's just the area of discipline that will get you there. Opportunities will not get you there, because you can simply start sitting back and saying, oh, me, now I have more, I know, I have opportunities, I know what to do. That's not it. What will make you succeed? What will make you transform? What will make you achieve your goals is really more of discipline. So the reflection we have to have is, what are some things I can do that makes discipline easier? So that's what we are going to be talking about. Now, as I've said, the key ideas for tonight are for what needs to grow. If you get clarity on what needs to grow, discipline is easy. If you get clarity on how do we need to keep growing, then discipline is easy. Consistency is easy. If you get clarity on why do we need to grow, then consistency is easy. And then you get discipline on when, then consistency is easy. So these are some of the answers we'll be looking at today, to say what are some ideas we can work with just to improve my discipline, just to improve my chances of being consistent. So we are going to start with what? And remember, what the big idea in this discussion is clarity. the big idea in all the things we are discussing is getting a good understanding of the idea. Because once you have that understanding, once you are clear, then the issue of discipline, the issue of consistency becomes automatic. It comes to you, and it becomes much more easier to practice consistency and discipline. So remember, the most important thing is clarity. So what needs to change for you to transform yourself? What needs to change for you to grow, for you to be consistent, for you to post changes? So we are going to discuss now some ideas on what. And remember, in our discussion, these ideas are deep, so we can touch them at the top. But if you reflect on them, you begin to get some insights, some discernment, some understanding, some clarity on how those ideas actually apply to your life and how they can make it easy for you to be disciplined, for you to be consistent. So remember the issue of clarity as we go on, okay? Now, when you expand yourself, and that is why this we are talking about is important, the issue of growth, the issue of moving forward is important. Once you expand yourself, you find you have more options. This is a sign that you're on the right direction. The minute you find you have more options of your life, of the things you can do, of the decisions you can make, then you're on the right side, on the right track. The minute you find you have more opportunities, it means you're on the right track because you are expanding yourself. That is why it is important to invest in yourself. That is why it is important to build yourself. That is why it is important to transform yourself so that you have more options, more opportunities, so that you tap into your potential, so that you tap into your purpose, so that you tap into your passion, so that you tap into your fulfillment. So remember, we are setting the stage here. We are still on the what. But if you are clear on your journey for growth, then the benefits that you will get from it are very big. And that is why it's important to reflect on it and to take it, really seriously, so that if you look at one idea, you don't keep on saying, but I know that, but I've heard that, but I've seen that. Will you take the same idea and you try to understand it in as many different ways as possible? And most important, in how it applies to you as a person or as an individual. So I've been on this slide in some other webinars. The what you need to get clarity on is self-awareness. This area is so big and it is so deep, you can never exhaust it. So it doesn't matter how many times you discuss 50, 50, 100, it doesn't matter. The area of self-awareness is so deep in terms of clarity. The minute you start making any movement or progress on self-awareness, then the area of discipline, the area of consistency become easy to do. You become easy to discipline yourself if you improve your self-awareness. Because if you know yourself, then you are able to make a plan according to you, not according to anybody else. You are able to make a unique plan that addresses you as a person, as an individual. So, and the area of self-awareness again is so big because from this area, you begin to get direction, you begin to get purpose, you begin to know yourself, you begin to discover yourself. And then when someone says you should be disciplined, it becomes easy because you can do it in your own style, in your own way, in your own customization. So that's very important. What is the other area you need clarity on? The other clarity is on relationships. And the first relationship is with yourself. In some discussions, you've spoken about self-esteem. It's a big area, it's a good area. The area of self-esteem is where if you work on areas that pull you back, if you identify the things that have stopped you from moving forward, then you will be able to keep on the journey of transformation and growth and discipline and consistency. So exploring the idea of the relationship you have with yourself, finding out from yourself, how do you take yourself? How seriously do you take yourself? What are some things and some self-talk that you've been doing for yourself that will not take you forward? If you get some knowledge in this area, then the area of when somebody says you should be disciplined, it's very easy because already you have dealt with your self-talk, already you have dealt with your comparison, the way you're comparing yourself with other people, already you have dealt with the image you have about yourself. So when you come to discipline, then discipline becomes easy, then consistency becomes easy. So this is an area one needs to reflect on and work on and get some clarity on where you are in that area. And then the other area, of course, is relationship with other people. This is something you need good clarity on. What is adding value? What is not adding value? What is a quality relationship? Is it working for you? Is it not working? So these areas need clarity. And if you get clarity on those areas, being disciplined, being consistent becomes easy. Because even on the area of relationship, then you are able to identify who really encourages you. And that is important because if you find yourself in a situation where people are not, or somebody who doesn't encourage you, then how are you going to be consistent? How are you going to be disciplined? You need to surround yourself with people who can encourage you and make you even better and expect better from you and give you genuine feedback. So this is some places where one needs to work on. Again, the area of skills, very important. We'll not talk about it today, but if you get clarity on the skills you need to work with your purpose, the skills you need to work with your passion. If you are able to connect your skills and your passion and your purpose, if you can make a connection between those things, I can assure you discipline becomes easy. Waking up in the morning becomes easy because you know that your skills are going to help you achieve your purpose. They're going to help you achieve your passion. So the area of skills is another area that one needs to look at in terms of getting clarity. Skills for themselves will not help you. Just getting skills, being able to count and say, I can do this, I can do, that's not enough. What is enough is for your purpose, for your passion, what are the top skills you need and how do you need to acquire those skills so that you can mine into your purpose and passion. Remember, we're talking about clarity for you to be disciplined, for you to be consistent, because that is a topic for tonight. And then the area of character, that one I cannot emphasize too much. Character is a big block in terms of being disciplined. If you want to be disciplined, if you want to be consistent, you can't avoid working on your character or getting clarity on which areas of your character are holding you back, which areas of your character will help you improve so that you can be more disciplined and you can be more consistent. If you build on your character, character is internal fuel. It is a thing that gets you going when things get tough. It's a thing that calls to you when you want to give up and tells you, look, you can't give up. You have to keep on going. It is the thing that calls to you when you're feeling like, look, I'm getting tired. This is too much for me. The thing that works for you, that calls to you, the thing that is there for you in terms of a pillar is character. And I spoke about it when we were starting the chat, the issue of reflection is very important because you get deeper insights into your character, what aspects of it can work for you, what aspects of it can make it even easy for you to be disciplined. So character is really important in the area of getting clarity, in the area of discipline, in the area of consistency. And of course, I've always spoken about the area of spirituality, very important. You are a spiritual being. And for you to be disciplined, to be consistent, you also must feed your spirit, because your spirit is a big part of you, is a big part of your life. And if you begin to make changes in the area of spirituality, looking for what works for you. Remember, in many talks we have said, spirituality is not religion. Spirituality is practices, are things that you do that can feed your spirit, that can refresh you, that can energize you, that can give you focus. And for different people, different things will work for you. So find your thing in terms of spirituality that can feed you, that can give you energy, that can refresh you. Remember what we are talking about is, if you get clarity in these areas, then discipline becomes easy, then consistency becomes easy. Remember, that is the topic you're talking about. You're talking about clarity. How is it that I can be disciplined? How can I keep moving? How can I keep going? How can I keep, even when the challenges are high, how can I keep on making progress? when the challenges are high. So remember, we are talking about clarity, and the clarity of what needs to change is important. Remember, you cannot exhaust this area. There is no time you can say, oh, I have figured it out. Now let's move to the next. If you find you're saying that, it means you're not going deep enough. It means you're not going into the deeper side of yourself to discover exactly how you can work with these areas where you are concerned. You're not taking time to reflect and to see how can you improve on this area so that when it comes to discipline, then it is not difficult. When it comes to consistency, then it is not difficult because you have clarity on what exactly needs to shift for you to expand. Remember, we are talking about expanding yourself so that you can be able to post some success. So what needs to change is very important. And these are some of the areas. Now we are going to the how. We have finished the what. If you get clarity on that, discipline becomes easy. Now let's go to how. You have clarity, you know all these ideas, you know what needs to change. Now the question is this: how do you start this change? How do you start moving forward? What are some things you can do that can give you a more an improved success, or can give you a bigger success about what you want to do? So how am I going to do this? How am I going to be consistent? So I want to give you a few ideas on how. And the first on how is the issue of personality, which I'm going to discuss today a little bit. Sometimes I touch on it in brief. Today, I'm going to discuss personality because for us to be disciplined, for us to be consistent, you have to do things according to your personality. You have to make your plans according to your personality. You have to do things that are suitable to your personality. What does it mean? It means you have to be yourself. It means you have to be true to yourself when you start planning on growth, when you start planning on change, when you start planning on transformation. You have to say, I'm going to work with what comes to me naturally. I'm going to do the things that come to me naturally. I'm going to make actions or plans, or I'm going to approach this in the way that it comes to me naturally. So this means I really must be able to understand my personality so that when I make a plan, it is according to my personality. If I make some actions, it is according to my personality. So I'm not going to look what other people are doing. I'm not going to copy what other people are doing. I'm not going to ask other people what they are doing. I'm going to make something that works for me according to my personality. So remember, if you work with your personality, then you're going to find it easy to start achieving discipline. And why is that? It is obvious. It is obvious because you are working within your natural space. You are working within what is easy for you. So it is obvious why you are going to be disciplined, why you are going to be consistent, if you know and work with your personality. So I've been touching on this a little bit at the top. I'm going to go a bit deeper on personality. And as I discuss the various kinds of personalities, you can be making some notes where you lie, where you fall, and you can become making some notes on how can you work with the ideas that are within your personality. And as I've said before, there are many personality tests. Myself, I'm going to concentrate so much on a John Maxwell personality testing, but all other personality tests are also in order, and they are also good, and they are also valuable, because all you need to do is place yourself so that you work with your characteristics, so that you work with your strengths. So I will be using the John Maxwell method of personality to explain the different characteristics and how people are different. And why it is important to know this is that once you know the differences in personalities, it's not good enough only to know yourself. With time, you can also be looking at other people and wondering, what type of personality is that? And once you know that type of personality, then you know, how do I work with that person? How do I improve communication with this person? How do I improve my relationship with this person? So it is double-sided. You know yourself, You can plan yourself because you plan from your area of what is natural to you. But the other side, which is also a good side, is then you know how to also work with other people and how to make plans with other people and how to improve communication with other people and how to deal with other people. So I'm going to touch briefly on the different types of personalities, and you can also make some notes on maybe where you believe you fall, and how you can work with that. Being true to yourself. How do you stay that way? Because the journey of growth is not a journey of being like anybody else. It's like just being the best of you, just the way you are created, just the way you are born, just the way you have become. So and remember, we are talking about consistency because we are talking about personality now, but what we are saying is, if you know your personality, if you have details about your characteristics, then you will make plans and you will be able to stick to those plans, because those plans, they speak to you individually, the way you are. So when it comes to personality, what I can say is that there are 4 different types of personalities, which we are going to discuss in this chat. And why it is important is that there are 4 different patterns, so you can place yourself in which pattern you see. Where do you lie when it comes to those personalities? And with that information, how can you work on your plans better? So we are going to be discussing 4 different types of behaviors of people. And as we discuss, you'll begin to see yourself in some of them. So make some notes, because the idea really is to have more and more information about yourself, so that immediately you know how to act where you are concerned, but you also know how to behave when you are dealing with other people. When you find a zebra, then you can see this one is like a zebra. This one is like a giraffe, depending on the pattern that you see with other people. So having said that, when it comes to personality, remember, don't lose track of the fact that we are talking about consistency. We are talking about how to plan so that discipline is easy. When it comes to personality, and I spoke about reflection, some part of your personality you are born with, some of it you saw how people are behaving and started behaving like that. Some part of your personality is about the environment you grew up in. So some aspects of your personality can be a little bit changed, or you can work to modify it a little bit, not a lot. Some of it cannot be modified because it's hereditary. But when it comes to growth, when it comes to change, when it comes to transformation, you have also to be a bit flexible. You have to look at some areas and say, how can I adapt to this one? How can I change this so that I have better results, so that I have better outcomes? But remember, you cannot change the core of who you are. You cannot change how you are born. You cannot change your heredity. You cannot change your DNA. So you have to note your DNA and see how you can work with it. But our personality is shaped by many things. And in the beginning, when I spoke about reflection, it's just so important for you to reflect on your life, how you were born, how you grew up, how you went to school, what you experienced there, what you were told, what you think about what you were told, how you started working, what did you encounter, what were you told, how you met people, what did they tell you, what is in your mind about what people told you, because those things finally are the ones that form your personality. And as I'm saying, some things that were about more of the environment, maybe you can look at things differently. Maybe those things are the ones that are affecting your self-talk. Maybe some of those things are the ones which are telling you, I can't make it, or I'm not good in maths, or I'm not good in this. It's not about you, it's because of what you are told. That is why reflection is important, because it begins to reveal to you some of the things that you hold as part of your personality are simply there because somebody somewhere put those things inside of you. And maybe that is not the true you, that's not the real you. That is why the reflection is important. That you get information, but you also question, where did this come from? Why is my personality like this? Why am I this way? Why do I react like this? Why am I afraid of this? Why does this bother me? Why does this? So that kind of asking question and reflecting on that is very important if you are going to be consistent. The more information you have about your behavior and who you are, the more it is easy to have discipline and to be consistent and to make plans that last, plans that you can repeat going on. So that is why we are discussing personality. Now I move on a bit. That is what shapes our personality. I go straight into the personalities. We are going to discuss the 4 different personality types. At one corner, we have people who are very outgoing, and then at the other corner, we have people who are very reserved. At one corner, we have people who are very people-oriented, and at the other corner, we have people who are very task-oriented. You'll find that people who are very task-oriented are not people-oriented. People who are detail-oriented, people who want a lot of details are not normally people-oriented. So you will find that people lie in the 4 corners of those either outgoing, people-oriented, reserved, or task-oriented. So there are different types of personalities, and we'll look at some of the characteristics, and you can identify some for yourself and see where you lie. So that's basically the picture of what we'll be talking about in terms of the different kinds of personality. So when we go to one personality type, we have people who are what we call D, which is a dominant. And these people, you can see their characteristics there on the screen, which I'm not going to read. I'm going to give you time to look at them. So if you find you have these kind of characteristics, then when you make your plan for growth, then you can make use of some of these characteristics to plan your actions or to plan your activities or to plan how you are going to change or how you are going to make a different plan. So you can use some of these characteristics. For example, if you're good at multitasking or if you are active, then it means you can schedule different things to do different things at the same time. If it's not a strength for you, then you cannot plan to do different things at the same time. So you have to look at what is comfortable for you according to your personality. If you are a D, you are very comfortable responding to direct information and direct confrontation, which means you can take feedback from other people directly. So you can work on that. When you're making your plan, you say, look, I'm going to ask people to be frank with me and give me the way it is. What is the situation? How do you find me? If you're looking for feedback from people, then it means you can handle people giving you direct feedback, because that is one of your characteristics. Yeah. If you are a D, it means also you embrace change. So it will be easy for you to do different things because that comes easily to you. But if you're not strong in this area, then it means you have to really coach yourself on change, because your personality does not easily welcome change. So you have to find a way to become comfortable with the change. You have to really, talk to yourself and make an intention to say, look, I'm not comfortable with change. I know I normally would like to resist change, but I'm going to have a different mindset on this because my personality is this way. So the reason why we are looking at these personalities is so that you can look what works for you according to your personality. And then we look at the strengths of each personality. So the strengths are there if you are this type of personality, and you can read it there. If this is your personality type, then it means you can work with it to make plans about change, about transformation, about growth. So you can pick any area here and say, for example, if you are independent and if you are positive, it means then you are able to sit down without much consultation and come up with your own ideas about how your life should be and about how your life should change. And you'll be very firm about it, and you'll be very decisive about it, and you'll be very confident about it. Why? Because this is part of your personality. This is part of your personality. The other thing is the issue of emergencies. If you are this kind of personality, whenever there are emergencies, it doesn't affect you. It means you are not a very structured person. Even when you are planning, it means you can keep adjusting your plans at any time, because that is the way your personality works. It means you can reach the end of the week and you change to another direction. Another week you change another direction. Another week you change another, because you are flexible. You don't mind disruption. You don't mind lack of structure. You don't mind things that just come up, which are emergencies. So if this is the way your personality type is, when you come to plan, then you can plan with some confidence in terms of what are the actions I need to take. I need to sit down. I know I can push this thing through. I know I can be decisive. I know I can make an intention. I know I can be serious about it. I know I can look for big change from this. And because your personality works like that, and I know I love change, I can embrace change, then it is easy for you to start going from an intention perspective. So when you study your personality, then your actions also become easier because they're aligned to your personality. So that is one type of personality. And then we have another type of personality, which is what you call an I, from what we are discussing. And these are some of the characteristics of people who have this kind of personality. And these people are very relationship oriented. They are very relational. These people work well with people. These people love people. These people have a lot of emotional animation. They are very animated. They like stories. They never run out of stories, and they encourage people. And they like experiences with other people. These are people who get energy from people. If you know this is your area, or this is your characteristic, then make a plan that involves other people. Make a plan where you can move as a group with other people. Make a plan where you can get feedback from a group of people, where you can be moving together with other people, because this is where you excel in. And this is where your natural strength comes from. You feed off other people. So it is important that if this is your area of character, if some of these are your characteristics, then make plans that are more about involving other people. Then what is the other thing about this kind of characteristic? The strengths of this kind of characteristic is that these are people who are naturally enthusiastic. These are people who are fun. These are people who are charismatic. These are people who are enthusiastic. These are people who are persuasive. What does it mean? It means these people like fun. So if you are going to make actions for yourself to change about any action that you, then make it fun. Make it something that inspires you. That make it something that is speaks to you from being enthusiastic. Don't be bored. Look for something that is different, that excites you, and work with your personality. Look for fun. Make it fun. Find goals that are fun. Find a way to get feedback that is fun, so that it works with your personality. If it is it's just a basic one, for example, if it's something like exercise or whatever, then make it fun. If it is diet change, then make it fun. So because that is part of your personality, that is how your personality. So these strengths will help you come up with action plans that are aligned to your personality. Then we have also the personality called S, people who are very easygoing, who are good listeners, who are very compassionate, who treasure peaceful relationships. So if this is your area, this is how your characteristics are, then find actions that speak about this. One of the strengths of this personality is that this is somebody who is a very good listener. And being a good listener is such a big talent. It is such, a big gift, because just from listening, you can get a lot of information. Just from listening, it can help you adjust your plans. It can help you have so much knowledge. It can help you have so much wisdom in terms of what you are doing, that it will help you make some good plans. So if this is your area, put yourself in a position or in a place where you can listen, you can hear, listen to staff, listen to people, look at those ideas, see which ones can work for you, which ones can't work for you, because it's a natural skill for you, because you are naturally a very good listener. So I think if you're an S, then look at this. Again, there are fears for each personalities. I've skipped some in the beginning, but for example, for this personality does not like confrontation. If you know you don't like confrontation and that's your personality type, then make actions that do not bring confrontation, that will not put you in a place where you are in confrontation with anybody or with other people. So work with your characteristics. Again, the strengths. Look at the strengths. What is some of the strengths of this personality type? These are people who meditate a lot. These are people who reflect a lot. What does that mean? It means that this is somebody who can use the power of reflection to really change their life, the power of reflection to really know themselves, the power of reflection to really evaluate their life. Because for this person, reflection and meditation comes naturally. So when you make a plan, work on your strength. Say, I'm going to use more of reflection to know, to understand myself, to understand other people, to learn about myself, because this comes naturally to you. So look at some of the strengths and then see how you can use those strengths to come up with a plan that can work for you. Because we are talking about being consistent, being disciplined. For you to be that, then you have to work with your personality. Again, we have the C, consistency, the C type of person. These are people who are very detail oriented. These are people who are very accurate. These are people who really who spend a lot of time going over the details, who spend a lot of time, going over information, who spend a lot of time analyzing. If these are your characteristics, then use them to make your plans. Make your plans as detailed as possible. Then write them down in detail. Write them down in percentages. Write them down in numbers. Write them down in steps. Write them down because this comes naturally to you. So when you come to take your actions, work with your characteristics. And again, these are the strengths of people who are very detail oriented. So use these things so that you can make good plans for yourself. You are data driven. Use data to make your plans. These are deep thinkers who are serious. Then use this characteristic to come up with plans that are serious, that are very timed, that have a lot of information, that have a lot of data, that have a lot of analysis, that have a lot of information. Create as much data as possible of yourself, of the things that you're observing about yourself, so that once you have this information, then your actions become very easy to deal with, and then the issue of even discipline and the issue of consistency become actually very easy. Now, I want to take the next 2 minutes because I think my time is up. I have so many slides, but my time is up because we don't want to keep people so much. But what are the other things that can make it easy for you to be disciplined? Start with the small stuff, okay? I'm just giving some examples of small stuff. Don't go for like big bang, big plan. Start with the daily planning. Start with the daily health. Start with the daily attitude. Start things like look at your relationship, maybe even on a daily basis. Look at spirituality, where you're making wins, where you're not making wins. Look at simple things. So go for the simple stuff when you are starting. Or when you are moving forward, because this will help you to be disciplined. It will help you to be consistent. I want to go almost to the other slide, and the other slide talks about patience. The journey of being consistent, the journey of discipline is something that requires patience. You're not going to get your results the same day. You're not going to get your results in a week. You're not going to get your results immediately. Results are going to come, but they're not going to come immediately. So cultivate patience. And for some people, it's easier. For some people, it is hard. Remember the personality types I've shown you. For the D personality, patience is a big weakness. These people are not patient. So if you know you fall there, then you know you have to do more work to try to be patient. If you know you are an S type, or the personality type that was there that I was showing you as an S type, these are people who are naturally very patient. These are people who are very nurturing. So you know this area comes naturally to you. So you don't have to worry so much about being patient, because that is part of your personality. So knowing yourself means you know where to put emphasis when it comes to the actions, or when it comes to how you're going forward. So I think the area of patience is one of them. Then value the process. I will not go so much into that. I think our time is really up, but value the process means stay in the moment and practice as many benefits. For you to value the process, then look at the benefits that are there for growth, and then improve on a daily basis. That is valuing the process. So I will not go so far, because I have done, we'll have a part 2. Carol, are you online?
Yes, I'm online. Yes, we'll have a part 2 for this.
But 2 now we have not finished is the why. Because
yes.
if you have a good idea of your why you are changing, why you are growing, why you are transforming, why you want different results, if you have a good, clear idea of your why, it's so easy to be disciplined and to be consistent. So you have to have clarity on why are you doing this. And this is so important. I'm going to make another session just for us to discuss why. I've done 30% of the slides, but I am going to stop there because we need to have questions. And Carol, we have to stop exactly at 8.
I don't know how that is going to happen. You know, for some reason, the message has been so sweet. I actually lost track of time.
Yeah, I was seeing my phone flashing.
I had lost track of time because I was following it very keenly. So I think the message has been very, very interesting and intriguing. It's now time for questions. There's a portal at the bottom called Q&A. You can post your question there. Then I'll be reading the question, and we're going to have Carol answer. So there's a question that has come in.
Yes.
The question is, what again is the insecurity for the I? I think that is on the personalities. What is the insecurity for the I?
The fear.
Yes, the fear.
Okay, I'll go back. Somebody asked another question because the fear is over there. I'll go backwards and we look at it. But somebody else can ask another question.
Someone else has said they need we add 15 more minutes, please.
So the greatest fear for the I, if you are an I, you fear rejection and loss of approval. So you fear social rejection and loss of approval. And you'll find that when you encounter this, it gives you a lot of problem and it almost freezes you. You freeze when you are rejected. So you instead of moving forward, you move backwards. You start withdrawing when you meet rejection and loss of approval. So you have to know this so that when it is happening to you, when this is you are feeling this feeling that you are being rejected and it's bothering you, then you know this is part of my personality, and I just need to be more aware that this is what is happening now, and I should not withdraw, I should not retreat, I should not stop. That is why this area of fear is very important, because sometimes we just withdraw when this happens and we stop moving. Yeah.
Somebody else has asked privately. They say they are challenged in maintaining discipline. Is there a formula for somebody to maintain discipline if they want to be consistent?
It's a lot of hard work. That is what I've said. So when we are discussing now this thing of how, it's a lot of hard work. But one of the critical things is having information about your personality and your fears. It is so powerful because when you have this information, then what you are doing, you'll try to make it natural to you. You start, sometimes we are not able to move forward because we are trying to be like other people, because we are trying to cut and paste what other people are doing, because we are trying to copy other people, because we are trying to compare ourselves. That's why we can't move forward. But the minute you realize that you have a unique personality, and so you have to do things according to your personality, then you'll start winning. You'll start winning on discipline. You'll start winning on consistency. Why you're not winning is because you have not embraced your personality. It's a very big first step.
Yes.
So that everything is according to your personality. If you're not a people person, don't force yourself to be a people person. You're not going to be consistent. If you're not a people person, don't go where people are exercising in groups of people, because that's not your area. Go to exercises that have to do with you as an individual, as a person. Make that your routine. But then you will succeed because that's your personality.
Okay. Another question, how would I moderate my fear and anxieties to enhance my discipline?
The way to moderate, and I want you to listen very carefully because I practice this also. The way to moderate is to become aware of your fear. What happens when you become aware of your fear is you know when it is starting. Why fear is dangerous, and those areas you're saying your greatest fear, why it is dangerous is because you don't know when it is starting to affect you. That is where the problem comes. So by the time you realize that all the reaction you have been having, all the talk you have been doing, all the resistance you have been doing, all the defense you have been doing is because of your fear. By the time you realize that you're in the middle of it, you didn't know. Then it just gets you. So the way to deal with fear, and this is also my practice, is to know when it is starting. I know myself, I know my great fear. So sometimes I can tell, oh, now I'm going, it's starting again. It's starting. That's why I'm feeling uncomfortable. Because even there are times you're not feeling comfortable, you're wondering, but you don't know why you're not comfortable. Somebody is talking to you, you're interacting with people, you're relating with people, already you start becoming but you're not sure what it is. But when you know that now your fear is starting to show up, because you're feeling like this person is rejecting you, this person is talking to you, and instead of hearing what that person is saying, you are involved in your fear of rejection. You're beginning to feel, actually, this person is rejecting me. Their words, their behavior, the way they're talking to me, it's rejection. Then you don't even hear what somebody's telling you, because that's what you're involved in. You are just in the middle of your fear.
Yeah. Okay. Someone else is asking that, how do you know that the motivation is right, that they keep on getting motivated to do different things, but they end up dropping out, not because they're not disciplined, maybe because the motivation was not right?
The motivation also has to do with why you are doing things. Do things for the right reasons. That is why the why is important. If you are doing things for the right reasons, and I'm going to give you a simple example. If you want to lose weight so that people can be telling you how beautiful you are, how handsome you are, you know, how attractive and all this kind of thing, and how you're popping. I don't know, that is the word for people who are young. People know this kind of
What's popping?
I don't know. If that is why, if that is the reason why you want to lose weight, so that people can look at you and just tell you how attractive you are, that's not a good motivation. That will not keep you going. That will not keep you on track. That will not give you discipline. That will not make you consistent, because you are doing it for the wrong reason. The why you are doing something is so important. If you are losing weight so that you can have personal energy, so that you can achieve a lot, so that you can have impact on other people, so that you can change the lives of other people, so that you can be clear about your mission, so that you can mine your purpose and your passion. If that's why you want to lose weight, I tell you, you will be disciplined, you will be consistent, and you will make it. The why you are doing it. So that's so important.
The why is almost in our next session, our part 2.
That is, I was going to the why. That is the important section. But the motivation and the why are related, because do things for the right reasons, please, and then it will be easy.
Okay, I know our time is fast spent, but I'll just like you to please ask to pick one last question and a comment that I will read. So I'll read the question, then I'll say the comment later. The question is, how can I pick again from loss of approval?
How can they pick up?
How can they pick up again from loss of approval?
So the first thing, be aware of your fear, and remember, you will never cure your fear, because it is part of your personality. So improve your awareness of that fear. That is the first thing. Okay? The second thing is this. Find simple ways that will build your confidence in yourself. Find simple ways that will build your self-esteem. Find simple ways that every time you feel down, every time it comes, because everybody is a human being and sometimes you go down, somebody tells you something, you feel you are rejected, you go down. Every time that happens, find simple things to bring yourself back again in terms of self-esteem. Simple self-talk. that you can do on a daily basis to validate yourself, telling yourself that you can succeed, telling yourself that you are enough, telling yourself that you don't have to be different, telling yourself that you are unique, telling yourself that you are born just the way you are for the right purpose, the right time, for the right things, telling yourself that you are enough for everything. Find simple self-talk that can build your self-esteem, so that every time you feel like, because you're saying we are human beings, every time you feel like you're going down, then you have to find another self-talk that brings you up again. Again, work on your spirituality, things that refresh you, things that give you energy, that you can say, okay, I know I'm now trying to cure, I'm suffering from rejection. I know it is my fear and I'm feeling rejected and I'm feeling down. Yes, but now I have to start climbing the mountain again. I have to start through my self-talk, through my potential, through somebody who can affirm me, through simple things that are accessible to me that I can do, that can keep me going. Because we are all human beings, sometimes it just gets to us.
True. So I'll finish off with a comment from one of our listeners who says she falls under the categories of the people you mentored about 10 years ago, and you have always propelled. You've always propelled. She says at times they have passion, which is unstoppable, but they feel sometimes demotivated. So they're asking that we keep on, you keep on checking on them. I'll probably reveal the name later. So it
okay, reveal the name later.
Yeah, I'll reveal the name later. So it has been a really wonderful session this evening. I got lost in the whole.
Even me, I got lost.
I stopped checking on time because the message was so sweet. And I'm looking forward to part 2. I think we need to do a part 2 of this, please, because there's a lot that we haven't finalized. But thank you so much, those ones who joined us this evening. I've seen our colleagues from Uganda. Thank you so much for making time. I hope you have learned a lot during this evening, and not just learning, the most important part is application in your life. So I wish you the very best, even as you internalize the message and you apply it in your life. It is Friday. I wish you a good weekend and restful weekend and reflective weekend. So thank you.
Thank you, Carol.
Thank you, Carol. Thanks. And it's good night from us. Bye.
Good night.
Good night.